Got 1 minute more. Yesterday was a pledge.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. It's already 5 a.m. So rise. Let's begin our Hoon Dok Hae by offering one Sunday mile to our beloved true parents. Having gone, Champu Lime, Tori Depe, Tumbe, our most beloved heavenly parents, today, November the 16th, 2014, here at Washington Family Church, National Cathedral. We pray for the victory, the success, and the protection of our true mother here on earth. And we pray as well for the true children, the true grandchildren, and with our true Father in heaven, in the spiritual world. We pray for their unity always, as we pray for all the brothers and sisters who are attending our true mother, the true children, and even the true grandchildren. We pray as well for all the leaders who are attending our true mother, especially in the international headquarters in Chungpyeong, Korea. We pray for our elder sister Sunjinim and Infuknim, her husband, and the chairman of the Family Federation for World Peace, Reverend Manhu, who used to be in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, now there. We pray for the UPF chairman, Chang Shik-yang, and all the international vice presidents, and we pray for all the continental leaders all over the world, from Africa, from South America, and here in North America and the Caribbean. We pray for Archbishop Hoon Kim and his family, and we pray also for all the national leaders all over the world. We pray for their success, especially here in America, with Reverend and Dr. Michael Balkum, his wife Fumiko, and the children, and all the staff there at 4 West 43rd Street. We pray for their success always, for their interactive service, gplive.info, and all their efforts to now prepare for our true mother's coming here in America, in Las Vegas. And we pray for all the regions and districts all over the world, especially here in District 1. We pray for Reverend Ernest and his wife Pico Patton, and their children. We pray for their success always, as we pray also for all the pastors and regions and leaders all over the world in our centers and churches. We pray for their victory always, as we pray for the Mid-Atlantic area from Norfolk, Virginia Center. We pray for Reverend Zagery Oliver in Richmond, Virginia Center. We pray for Father Adrian Bayo and his wife, Ayala San, and their congregation there that is expanding. And we pray as well for the Tosin Center in Maryland. We pray for Reverend James Stewart and his wife, Auntie and their children, and all the members there were staying in the same center. We pray for their success always as they serve the community, and we pray for the Northern Virginia Center under Ms. LeJeune, and in Maryland we pray for Reverend Milton Stevens and his wife, and all the members there, especially the co-pastors like Reverend Jim Bootley and Ms. Jones, and Mr. Jones, and Reverend Jones. And we pray for their success always. And in Washington, D.C. area, we pray for Archbishop Augustus Stallings, who is heading the American Clergy and Leadership Conference. We pray for their success always, as we pray also for our Pastor Rev. Zagery Oliver and his wife, Fumi San and daughter Diane. We pray for unity, we pray for prosperity and good health to all the members who are connecting to the Washington Family Church. We pray for more blessed families connecting with us who are even geographically inside Washington, D.C. We pray that they will take a look and really bring more and more even members and all the people who have gone to our international nights. We pray that they will come back again and connect with us as we celebrate today's Sunday service. And we pray all this in all our names and in my name. Athanasius Francis, Sigurd, blessed and finally, Adieu, adieu, adieu. Good morning. We're still reading the world scriptures with the teachings of our Father, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. And we're now on page 694, subtopic number 3. Giving without conditions or concern for past slights. He who gives his wealth to purify himself and confers no favor on any man for recompense, only seeking the face of his Lord the Most High. He shall surely be satisfied. And this is from the Quran, Surah 92, verse 18 to 21. A gift is a gift of integrity when it is given at the right place and at the time to proper person, to one who cannot be expected to return the gift, and given merely because it should be given, but what is given to get a gift in return, or for the sake of some result, or unwillingly. That is a gift in the sphere of passion. A gift is called slothful when it is given not at the right time and place, nor it is to a worthy person, nor with a proper ceremony, but with contempt. And this is from the Bhagavad Gita 17.20 to 22 from Hinduism. A man who is out to make a name for himself will be able to give away a state of 1,000 chariots, but reluctance would be written all over his face if he had to give away a basket full of rice and a bowl full of soup when no such purpose was served. This is from Mencius 7.B.11 from Confucianism. If I give this, what shall I, open close bracket, have left to enjoy? Such selfish thinking is the way of the ghost. If I enjoy this, what shall I again, open close bracket, have left to give? Such selfless thinking is a quality of the gods. This is from Shantideva, Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life, 8.125 Buddhism. And now we have the teachings of our Father, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. True love is love that gives and forgets what it gave. Having forgotten what you gave, you want to give again and again. And this is from a speech in April 12, 1987. Now we're on page 695. You give and then forget. You do not keep an account of what you gave, but forget it. When you give and forget, you are elevating our beloved above yourself. Give and forget. That's the idea. As soon as you remember what you gave, it breaks the circuit of giving. Unity does not exist where there is self-assertion, where a husband asserts his rights or a wife asserts her rights. God created the universe by investing without limit. Therefore, when a man gives limitlessly for the sake of his wife, and the wife likewise gives limitlessly for her husband, they can achieve total unity. You couples can become completely one by giving and forgetting, following God's pattern. And this is from the speech on February 5, 1995. God desires a free, peaceful, and happy place where giving has no accusers and receiving has no conditions attached. God's purpose is to expand this place worldwide and bring all humankind to live there. And this is from a speech on April 12, 1964. Now we have a new topic. We're now on page 695, charity. Charity to the poor and the needy is a traditional virtue encouraged by all religions. Our relationship to the highest good creates a natural band of family among all members of the community, rich and poor. We can experience God's love and compassion for all His children, and especially for those who suffer from poverty, disease, war, famine, and natural disasters. Giving alms and charity is a concrete expression of the spiritual bond of love. Texts such as the parable of the sheep and the goats from the New Testament liken helping a poor man to give offerings to God or the highest saints. Charity is not excuse even for the poorest giver, according to the several texts. Some passages describe the attitude one should take in giving charity. The dignity of the transaction should be upheld by all means. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Describes the value of anonymity for both the donor and the recipient. For the donor to eliminate any occasion by boasting, and for the recipient to preserve his dignity. And an even higher form of charity, according to Maimonides, is to extend interest-free loans and other forms of aid to help the poor man get started in a business or trade and thus earn his own living. In a modern version of the adage, give a man a fish, you'll feed him for today. Teach a man to fish, and you have fed him for a lifetime. Father Moon has been developing oceanic fishing enterprises with the intent to help the people of Africa become self-sufficient in food. And we have the first subtopic. Number 1, charity is an expression of God's love and draws us near to God. Blessed is he who considers the poor. The Lord delivers him in the day of trouble. And this is from Psalm 41:1. They fed with food the needy wretch, the orphan, and the prisoner for love of him, saying, we wish for no reward nor thanks from you. And this is from the Quran, Surah 76:8-9. They sold their possessions and goods and distributed them to all as any had need. This is from the Book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 45. Charity to be moved at the sight of the thirsty, the hungry, and the miserable, and to offer relief to them out of pity, is the spring of virtue. This is from Kunda Pankastikaya, verse 137, Jainism. Now we're on page 696. If there is among you a poor man, one of your brethren in any of our towns within your land, which the Lord our God gives you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him, and lend him sufficient for his need whenever it may be. You shall give it to him freely, and your heart shall not be grudging when you give to him. Because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work, and in that you undertake, for the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy and the poor in the land. And this is from Deuteronomy 15, chapter 15, verses 7-11. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate them one from the other, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep at his right hand, but the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, Come, O blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did you see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you? And the king will answer them, Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. And this is from the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 31 to 40. Parable of the sheep and the goats. On the day of judgment, God Most High will say, Son of Adam, I was sick, and you did not visit me. He will reply, My Lord, how could I visit thee when thou art the Lord of the universe? He will say, Did you not know that my servant so-and-so was ill, and you did not visit him? Did you not know that if you had visited him, you soon would have found me with him? And this is from Hadith of Muslim from Islam. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, from Deuteronomy 13 verse 4. But how can a man walk over God who is a devouring fire? From Deuteronomy 4 verse 24. It means walk after his attributes, clothe the naked, visit the sick, comfort the mourner, bury the dead. And this is from the Talmud, Sota 14a, Judaism. When the Holy One loves a man, he sends him a present in the shape of a poor man, so that he should perform some good deed to him, through the merit of which he may draw to himself a cord of grace. This is from Zohar 1.10, 104a, Judaism. The gods have not ordained that humans die of hunger. Even to the well-fed man, death comes in many shapes. The wealth of the generous man never wastes away, but the niggard has none to console him. He who possessed of food hardens his heart against the weak man, hungry and suffering, who comes to him for help. Though of old he helped him, surely he finds none to console him. He is liberal who gives to anyone who asks for alms, to the homeless, distressed man who seeks food. Success comes to him in the challenge of battle, and for future conflicts he makes an ally. He who is no friend who does not give to a friend, to a comrade, who comes imploring for food, let him leave such a man. His is not a home, and rather seek a stranger who brings him comfort. Let the rich man satisfy one who seeks help, and let him look upon the long view. For wealth revolves like the wheels of a chariot, coming now to one, now to another. In vain does the mean man acquire food. It is, I speak the truth, verily his death. He who does not cherish a comrade or a friend, who eats all alone, is all sin. This is from Rig Veda, chapter 10, verses 117, that to 6, from Hinduism. And now we have the teachings of our Father, Reverend San Myung Moon. Parents suffer when one of their children are sick. When one of your siblings is hurt, you feel pain. When seeing people suffering from poverty or war, a saint feels their suffering more intensely than his own difficulties. Forgetting his own circumstances, he gives all he had to welcome them. This way has bequeathed us the standard of morality the world over in all ages and saints. It is the philanthropic spirit, the love for humanity. And this is from the speech on January 29, 1989. When you see a gaunt children playing on the street, underfed and wearing tattered clothes, you should hug and embrace them as you would your own children. You should feel ashamed if you do not want to do that. You should feel you're more shameful than would a parent who abandoned her child feel should she catch a glimpse of him on the street. Seeing him as she passes by the town where years before she had left him on a doorstep, or perhaps in the care of a nanny. She cannot hold up her head. That is the band of heart. If your own children wear that gaunt, wouldn't you embrace them and shed tears until your bones melt? This is from a speech in August 17, 1971. While walking on the street, if you see an old man with a hump on his back, you should think, my father might have such an appearance when he visits me. When you see the rough and swollen hands of a laborer, you should think, my father, who is searching for me, might look worse than him. When you meet a beggar, you should be able to bow your head thinking, he is not a beggar, but actually my father. Know that God's heart dwells in each of these miserable and pitiful-looking people. You should love them, regardless of your situation and social position, shedding tears with the heart, for each of them is your own father. Only then you can meet God. And this is from a speech on February 28, 1960. At lunchtime, if you should see an elderly person who is in distress because he does not have enough money to buy food, take him with you to the cafeteria and treat him to a good meal. Serve him as you would serve your grandparents. And this is from February 6, 1991. I cannot forget those who visited me when I was lonely in prison and comforted me in my miserable plight. I might forget about my family members or relatives, but never those who sought me, because of the bands of true love. And this is from a speech on October 14, 1972. Once I rescued a prostitute, a young girl who had fallen into the pitiful situation. I love her as my own sister. I remember it as if were yesterday. After listening to her story, I wept with her and truly uplifted her. That kind of deed is greater and more precious than prayer. This is from May 1, 1977. I know it's 5:20. Okay, 29. We're now on 697, page 697 still. I have studied the ocean industry because I know it is a way to feed the starving people of Africa. For 20 years, steadfast without letting up, I have worked hard to pave this road. I made my own nets, built boats in my own factories, and created my own methods of fishing. The waters of Africa have an abundance of fish. If only the people of Africa could harvest them, they would have food to spare. How then can they possibly die of starvation? 60,000 people starve to death every year, mostly in Africa. Ask your own conscience. These people are starving due to the want of food. Whereas here in America, you eat so much that you become as plump as a cow, and then have to work hard dieting and exercising to reduce that weight. Should you not be punished by God? And this is from a speech on July the 24th, 1994. Now it's already 5:31. I think that ends our Hoon Dok Hae. We have read today charity, and the first topic, charity is an expression of God's love and draws us near to God, and the subtopic under giving and receiving. Number 3, giving without any conditions or concern for past slights. So is there anyone who wants to share about our reading today? Are you still all there?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for reading.
Yes, thank you, Diane. Do you have anything to share about charity or giving without any conditions or concerns for past slights? Anyone who wants to share? Yeah, so there are many from the Bible and even from the Quran and from Hinduism and Confucianism, and It says, he who gives his wealth to purify himself and confers no favor on any man for recompense, only seeing the face of his Lord the Most High, he shall surely be satisfied. This is from the Quran. And Father mentions here about true love is the love that gives and forgets what it gave. Having forgotten what you gave, you want to give again and again. This is from April 12, 1987. And to give and then forget, you do not keep an account of what you gave, but forget it. So when you give and forget, you are elevating your beloved above yourself. Give and forget. That's the idea. As soon as you remember that you gave, it breaks the circuit of giving. So we should not remember if we give. So just give and give again. That's Father, you know. And of course, God desires a free, peaceful, and happy place where giving has no accusers and receiving has no conditions attached. God's purpose is to expand this place worldwide and bring all humankind to live there. So this is from a speech on April 12, 1964. And for charity, blessed is he who considers the poor. The Lord delivers him in the day of trouble. This is from Psalm 41, verse 1. And from Deuteronomy, we learn today that if there is among you a poor man, one of your brethren, in any of your towns within your land, which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him and lend him sufficient for his need, whatever it may be. You shall give to him freely, and your heart shall not be grudging when you give to him, because for this the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all your that you undertake. For the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy and the poor in the land. This is from Deuteronomy chapter 15, 7 to 11. So as we read also from Father, he asks us to hug this. You know, if we see children playing on the streets, underfed, wearing tattered clothes, you should hug and embrace them as you would your own children. You should feel ashamed if you do not want to do that. You should feel more shameful than would a parent who abandoned her child feel should she catch a glimpse of him on the street. Seeing him as she passes by the town where years before she had left him on a doorstep, or perhaps in the care of a nanny, she cannot hold up her head. That is the band of heart. If your own children were that gaunt, wouldn't you embrace them and shed tears until your bones melt? So it's very, very profound. August 17, 1971. So we should think about them as like our children. And also when walking down the street, if you see an old man with a hump in his back, you should think, my father might have such an appearance when he visits me. When you see the rough and swollen hands of a laborer, you should think, my Father who is searching for me might look worse than him. When you meet a beggar, you should be able to bow your head thinking he is not a beggar but actually my Father. Know that God's heart dwells in each of these miserable and pitiful looking people. And Father says you should love them regardless of your situation and social position, shedding tears with the heart that each of them is your own Father. Only then can you meet God. And this is from February 28, 1960. So these are very profound words. In order to meet God, we should be concerned about those beggars, those people on the street, as if they are actually our own Father. Yes, anyone? Of course, we know about charity begins at home. And if we teach this to our children, and they can see us also doing an act of charity, they will remember it and they will do it also and teach it to their children, to the children's children, until to the ends of the generation. Anybody else who wants to share about our reading today?
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Let's all rise. Let's all have unison prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we're so thankful for reminding us, for inspiring us through the other scriptures from other religions, and now you are even connecting with us by these bonds of heart. We pray that we can always even try to hug these abundant children. And we pray, our Heavenly Parents, that we can look at these older men, beggars, all these people as our Father. And we pray that we can meet you there. And we pray that we can always pray for them, that they will also have children and all this force that government is. This world has to give. We pray for each other's success as we bring in more and more people to your presence. We pray, we join the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, and be blessed also as we give them either the holy wine or we bring them to our international lights and bring them to the blessing itself that is happening worldwide on February. And before that, we pray that we can always have blessings in this church as we give holy wine to a group of people and a group of married people. And we pray that we can do that in a few days and coming months before the year 2020. And we pray, our Heavenly Parents, that you guide us always as you have guided us before. And we pray that we can take ownership as messiahs right now to really invite our tribe, our clan, and even our nation back to you. And we pray all this in all our names, in my name. Athanasius Francis, second beloved. Blessed are the family. Aju, Aju, Aju. Uri esonen from you. Numeros sonen from you. Imo son bachos from you. From Ilio ora. Ikio salinen from you. Inarachadne from you. From Ilio ora. From Ilio ora. Good morning to you, our heavenly parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Good morning to the true children, the true grandchildren, and all our brothers and sisters. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Have a great and wonderful Sunday. See you here at Sunday service.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Have a great, wonderful day.